मम भाव और समभाव से मानव मात्र तक पहुंचाना होगा। वैश्विक विकास
And that is Prime Minister Modi at the G20 in Bali. It's the second and final day of the summit. India takes over the presidency today and over the next 1 year till September, when a similar summit will be held here in India. We will be having to host many such meetings related to the Group of 20. Prime Minister Modi clearly stating that the G20 is an organization that is a global prime mover. He's spoken of how women should be at the forefront of developmental goals. And last week we had seen the Prime Minister unveil the logo, theme and website of India's G20 presidency. At that time, the Prime Minister had said that India's G20 presidency is coming at a time of crisis and chaos in the world, a thought that has echoed throughout this summit, which is being held under the shadow of the Ukraine war. The Prime Minister had said then that the world is going through the after effects of a disruptive, once-in-a-century pandemic, conflicts and a lot of economic uncertainty. As our viewers are aware, the lotus is features in our symbol for the G20. And the Prime Minister said, while lotus, a symbol of national heritage, features in the India G20 logo, the country is also sending a message of one earth, one family, one future. And you were just listening in. We'll try and get back and listen once again to the Prime Minister as he speaks at the G20. Earlier in the day, we had seen visuals. We had brought you visuals of his bilateral with French President Emmanuel Macron. And a number of other bilaterals also scheduled today. Yesterday, it was that wonderful, warm and interactive meeting with the Indian diaspora, which is a feature of every foreign visit that the Prime Minister undertakes. And there you see him with Joko Widodo, President of Indonesia, who is the host. And now India taking over. The baton is passed on to India.
होगा ट्रोइका का मतलब ये होता है कि जो आउटगोइंग प्रेसिडेंसी होती है, जो करंट प्रेसिडेंसी होती है और जो इनकमिंग प्रेसिडेंसी हो जाती है। तो ये पहली बार होगा 1 दिसंबर 2022 से कि आउटगोइंग प्रेसिडेंसी यानी कि इंडोनेशिया, करंट प्रेसिडेंसी यानी कि इंडिया और जो इनकमिंग प्रेसिडेंसी यानी कि ब्राजील, ये तीनों ही जो अर्थव्यवस्थाएं, जो इकोनॉमीज हैं, ये डेवलपिंग या फिर इमर्जिंग मार्केट कह सकते हैं। तो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज का जो पार्टिसिपेशन है इन मल्टीलैटरल प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर, इनकी जो आवाज सुनी जाती है, वो आप कह सकते हैं कि काफी बैलेंस्ड और ज्यादा होगी मल्टीलैटरल प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर। साथ ही साथ इस बात को
And Abhishek Kapoor joining us on this. Abhishek, we're seeing those wonderful visuals, the baton passed on to India, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi there. We were just listening to him. Also, President Joko Widodo. A very significant moment as the Prime Minister outlined India's agenda at the G20 presidency, speaking about how it's a very challenging phase that the world is passing through. It's over to you to give us more insight, some perspective on the major takeaways of this 2-day very crucial summit that we witnessed.
Rukma, fantastic pictures there, and I could see that hint of emotion on Prime Minister's face when he took over that hammer, thus, transitioning into the presidency of G20 for the year 2023, symbolically with Joko Widodo handing over amid all the applause that's accompanying in the pictures, as we can see. It's a significant moment for the country, for the nation, and for the society that in the 75th year of independence, we are helming an organization which accounts for 85% of global trade, 75% of GDP, and 2/3 of the world population. A very decisive organization, unlike the United Nations, which is clumsy, about which Prime Minister mentioned in his opening remarks yesterday when he said that not much decision-making happens in the United Nations as it exists today and needs important reforms. And pending that, G20, which is a mix of developing and developed nations of North and South, and in that scenario, with the kind of difficulties the world is facing as of now, because of the year of war, because of the post-pandemic fragile economic recovery, because of the supply chain disruptions, because of the fuel shock and food security shock, I think India it's an opportune time for India to be showcasing its solution-providing impulses and general approach towards problems which are not just local but global as well. So I think this is happening best of time possibly. The worst of time, of course, challenges, but then as it is said, opportunities and challenges come together, and it is an opportunity for the nation to really rise together and to meet this challenge of providing global leadership on a platform which is relevant, which is significant, which can provide solutions, be it climate change, be it food security, be it energy supplies, and India's position has been well appreciated, and that can be seen in the fact that the G20 communique which was released mentioned Prime Minister's 5 words that were made to President Putin, that this is not an era of war. So I think a message being sent across and in these pictures, and which would be strengthened over the next 1 year as India's presidency of G20 pans out, that we are here as solution providers. We are a civilizational nation state which has answers to global problems if you listen and if you execute them. And Prime Minister underscoring one very important aspect in his closing remarks when he said that we are going to provide an action-oriented presidency for G20, which is driven by solutions. So I think significant moment there, and as I mentioned, Prime Minister, showing that hint of emotion on his face, because it's a big moment for the nation as a whole that we are taking over presidency of G20, and as a coincidence also in the 50th year of India's independence. In fact, we were supposed to take over presidency of India in 2022, but then a swap. It should be in 2023 because that's the year we will be marking our 75th year of independence. So those two moments should coincide. And now Prime Minister has taken over the President Joko Widodo of Indonesia. Over the next 1 year, India has called India's President one people, and the solutions to all the global problems would be discussed spread over the entire year. 200 meetings, big and small, spread across 55 cities across the country. It's not just Delhi-centric, New Delhi-centric, and all these leaders who will be traveling, and the global decision-making community, influencer community that would be traveling to India over the next 1 year. They would be given a slice of life of India across the country and regions and states, with 55 cities chosen, including in Jammu and Kashmir, for example, including in the northeast, including down south in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where all these meetings would take place. 55 cities marked for 200 meetings, and of course the big one next year, roughly the same time, I'm forgetting the dates, the Leaders Summit that's going to be held in New Delhi, for which a special venue at Pragati Maidan is coming up or almost has come up. So Indonesia passing the baton to India, and President Joko Widodo there in the pictures amid applause, handing over the baton to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's visibly emotional at this moment because it's significant for him, for the nation as well.